What's going on, everybody? This is a segment from the Nerdgasm Talk podcast. If you like podcasts, well, why don't you come join us as the crew gets silly and Philly while we sit to talk about the latest in comics, games, movies, and all things pop culture. You guys can listen to our whole show on all the podcasts apps. We're on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, wherever you guys get your podcasts from. And make sure you guys also support the channel by subscribing to the Nerd Coalition Studios. And for the gaming needs, make sure you subscribe to Nerd Coalition Level Up. This is the Nerd Coalition. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. And now, feel the Nerdgasm. At 3 different times, we had 3 different deaths. It felt like we had more. But what we're going to talk about, there are 3 deaths that happened within a month that we haven't, since we haven't done a podcast consistently, have not talked about. And I want to get y'all thoughts on all of them. So, well, the first one I want to start off with was, I think to me, was the most heartbreaking. And that was my man Chance. Okay, baby girl, help me out here. It's Perdo.
Chance Perdomo.
Okay.
Perdomo.
For those who don't know that name, if you watch Gen V, which was an absolute banger of a show, surprised the hell out of me of how good that. I really
also, same. I was not sure how it was going to work out after the boys.
Yeah, but hell, I damn sure enjoyed Gen V. To the point I was like, "Yo, season 2, we need it," because obviously we need it. And I know my man.
As soon as we finished watching.
Yeah, Gen V was fire. I finished the whole thing in like a day and a half.
Hey, real talk, because me and Lane Sketch did the same thing. We binged the whole thing in a day and a half. But my man who played Andre Anderson, who was the son of Sean Patrick Thomas, yeah, where he been at, right? Who me and Lane Sketch was just like, yo, he got mannerisms of like 90s rock, you know. And he was and he was just like Black Magneto in the show, because he could control the magnetism, because that's the power that his dad had. He passed away. At 27 years old on March 30th, 2024, in a motorcycle accident.
Yes, in a motorcycle accident. He was also on the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. I was trying to find a way to slide it in there.
Oh yes, I did see he was on Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. I have not sit there and started watching the show yet, but it just like that, as somebody is, getting working their way up there, and I really enjoyed his character. He was convincing in the show, and I want it ain't like the show just ended like, hey, we don't know if we're getting a season 2. No, it has to be a season 2 of how the shit ended, and I was just like, just like that, he's gone.
That's so unfortunate. 27 years old is far too young.
Yeah, and it just he was traveling to upstate New York, and then they say he was traveling upstate New York en route to Toronto to begin filming for season 2 of Gen V, because that's how all this bullshit always happens. And then that happens, and that fucking sucks, because when his death happened, I sit there and look like, when it comes to things that we like, sports athletes and wrestling that we just came for WrestleMania, or actors who gotta travel to these different locations, I'm sitting thinking like, shit can really happen. We so used to it not happening, but shit can really happen. Something go wrong with a plane, an accident can happen, a catastrophe can happen. You never know. But we're just so used to, like, we're dealing with actors and celebrities and all that stuff as we're traveling. Hell, even when we're just traveling for work, it's just such a simple thing to do. And it's like, okay, let's go film season 2 of Gen V. And it's like, what the fuck's going to happen now? That's that one was heartbreaking for me. But
he was very young. He was super young. He had a promising career ahead of him. It's very unfortunate.
How about you, Q Flow? Like when you heard that news?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. It's a tragic turn of events, and like 27, like bro, 27.
Yeah,
bro had a lot. He had a lot of life left, bro. A lot of life left, and yeah, I don't. It's weird because I've seen people say like they thought actors were like, especially like on lit programs such as Gen V, sponsored by the boys.
Yeah.
I thought they had like a no motorcycle, like specifics, like no motorcycle, like they had a motorcycle ban or something like that. So
I didn't know
because of things like that can happen. Yeah, it's because like that, something like that can happen. And it was like, and people were saying like, bro, y'all was supposed to put a ban on that or something. Like if he wanted to travel, take him where he gotta go, stuff like that. But this ain't the time. I'm not pointing fingers or nothing. That's just the chatter I've been seeing. You know, condolences to his family, his castmates, and all that, man.
Yeah, that's a hard pill to swallow. The next death I will talk about is something that, you know, touched my heart because he's a beloved actor. He got a chance to live life, and for a long time we used to call him the oldest living Negro, and that's Lou Gossett Jr.
Yep.
Lou Gossett Jr. passed away.
It's not as old as I thought it was.
You know what? Same here, because you know what? Especially me and Late Sketch, we always used to talk about, like I said, Lou Gossett Jr. being like the oldest living Negro. Him and Cissy Tyson. And
yeah, she left us already, unfortunately.
Yeah, but when Lou Gossett passed away, he was Lou Gossett Jr. died. He died March 29th. He was 87 years old. He was old, but he wasn't, you know, like in the 90s, like I thought. But he was 3 years away from it though. And man, because he would have been 88 this year, and next month, to be honest with you. And Lou Gossett had a career, you know, like when you talk about the old legends of Hollywood, especially Black Hollywood, and you mention your Sidney Poitiers, or you mention your Diane Carrolls, or you mention your Dorothy Dandridge, or you mention Harry Belafonte, you mention all these names, you gotta talk about Lou Gossett Jr. And you gotta talk about the impact that Lou Gossett Jr. brought, especially there was just so many films and TV shows that he has been a part of. Especially, he was acting all the way up to The Color Purple, like the most recent one, because he played Mr.'s daddy in that one. So they still haven't said what the cause of death was for Lou Gossett Jr., but I'm going to just take it to...
Honestly, I just assumed it was natural causes. I just assumed it was natural causes.
I would have to think so.
So yeah, he laid a lot of groundwork for black actors today. I believe he was he the first black man to get a supporting Oscar, or was he second?
I gotta look that one up for you.
I can't remember.
But he was.
It was like, you know, he was groundbreaking.
Yes.
I was just saying he was groundbreaking.
Yeah, and he even has some things coming out after he passed away. You know, so a lot of TV. I'm saying like the list. I'm just keep scrolling past the list of TV and theater and movies that he was in. Hell, we just see my man at JD's Revenge. That's another blaxploitation movie that I put my wife on. That she was just like, please don't. But I did it anyway. And like I said, just so many. Like, do you have a favorite Lou Gossett Jr. movie, Lady Sketch, by chance? Whether it be like, you know, Daddy's Little Girls, whether it be Why Did I Get Married 2, whether it be because you know he.
Let me look it up.
Because like I said, he was just
His discography. Austin didn't know that he won the Oscar for. I don't know.
I know it'll probably be hard to.
Like, I wanted to say Roots, but
I mean, well, you know, everybody remember him.
he was in Watchmen.
You said he was in what?
He was in Watchmen.
Yeah, I think wasn't he Regina King's dad?
In the show, I'm about to say
in the show, the show,
not the movie.
Yeah, in the show, he was in Watchmen in the show. Yeah, I mean he was in the show version. Yes, I do. And then, you know,
I don't know. I guess Roots.
That Amazing Grace episode, Touched by an Angel, was really good with him in there also. So hey, you know, I'm a Touched by an Angel.
You were. That's hilarious.
What about Touched by an Angel?
Yes.
Man, don't be hating on Touched by an Angel, yeah. But yeah, so he was just in, you know, a lot of great stuff. It just, you know, 87 is I will pray to see 87 years old. So, you know, that's a good life to live. It just, you know, touched me in the feels a little bit when Lou Gossett Jr. passed away. Then we get to this guy, and recently, Orenthal James Simpson.
I don't know what you about to say.
Yeah.
I have no comment.
O.J. Simpson, one of the greatest running backs that ever lived, who obviously the majority of people know him from the case of, you know, the murder case of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman in the 90s, passed away at the age of 76 years old. Okay, so I guess I had to go first. This was a case.
I think you should go first and last.
What would you say, baby girl?
I said I think you should go first and last.
Wow. Listen. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all on this one, and that is, I am not a fan of O.J. Simpson. Okay, I am not. I'm not. You're
not the only one.
Okay. Yeah, well, hey, look. But here's the thing. I want everybody to understand something. This O.J. Simpson case divided the nation in half back in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing was, there are still black people to this day that still believe OJ didn't do it. Stop it.
There are, I feel like the large majority of people. What?
No. I'm just saying, like, to the people
out
there.
Oh, you're saying stop it.
Yeah, to
about
the people.
I
ain't talking to you now.
No. So here's the thing. I think there's the overwhelming majority is that they might believe he did it, but they're just like, a win is a win. And I'm like, no. No, it's not.
Listen.
Like, he got over on the system, so a win is a win. And I'm like,
because that's honestly...
I said I wasn't commenting, though, so...
That's honestly what it was for. To get over on the system. Because you know what? If anybody has not seen that O.J. Simpson Made in America 30 for 30, do yourself a favor and watch that documentary. It's 5 parts. Before Jordan came with The Last Dance, 30 for 30 was the shit for the sports documentaries. And when they made it in America, I remember the hype around this thing. And I remember when they played the first 2 episodes, everybody was like, yo. Because this documentary here breaks it down and it explains who Orenthal James Simpson was, his upbringing, and the problems that he received. Then also it shows you the problems with the black community and the LAPD. And it also shows you the dark side of O.J. Simpson, of the lot of shit that was going on before Nicole got killed. So then by the time part 3 comes and you get to the case, you can get where everybody's coming from. You see what I'm saying? That, I was like, okay, y'all mapped it out. Still don't mean he ain't do it. But, because it's like my father, he can't stand O.J. Simpson. And it's just like, you know, I ain't flinch. And when people was texting me, hey yo, you heard about O.J. Simpson dying? And I said, yeah. And it was just like, you saw that he did? I'm like, yo, think? I know O.J. Simpson did it. There's proof O.J. Simpson did it. I think, no, figured out, it don't matter. O.J. Simpson did it. Guess what? He did it by his goddamn self. People, get over it. I'm so sick and tired. He had help. He had help driving away in the Bronco, and we seen that on camera. But by himself, that's him. That's all him. I'm sorry. The evidence is there. They broke all that shit down in detail. Bruh, Chris Darr and them lost the case.
They just lost the case.
They lost.
And not even just this case. I've told people before, the difference between somebody winning something and the other person losing it. And that might sound crazy, but you don't have to work as hard when somebody's actively losing.
Yeah. So look, I'm sorry. Like I said, I wasn't getting into it, but that right there, you know, always just a pass away. I'm just like, okay, well, whatever this life brings after this, you deal with that. And that's basically Q Flawless. You want to add anything else to that?
I ain't got no words for the juice.
Oh, there it is.
Listen, what I
condolences to his family though, because you know.
Yeah, listen, because regardless of how we feel, that was somebody's dad.
Yeah, so my grandfather and all that. I just met mine, so I get it. You know what I mean? So condolences to the family, thoughts and prayers and all that. And but yeah, that's it. You know. O.J. Simpson.
Yeah.
Here we.
And you leave it at that.